when you're the number one spending on offense, there's expectations.
I don't want to hear any excuses from the Detroit Lions or for Lions sympathizers about the Detroit Lions after you read that. Unless my eyes don't work anymore, seems like they've surrounded him with the right pieces. So you guys got to show me $120 million worth of offense.
And this is actually trending on Twitter right now, so I definitely wanted to talk about it.
It's true.
Our very own Detroit Lions lead the NFL top 10 most expensive offenses this year. The most expensive offenses, and we're beating out the Commanders, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Ravens. I mean, we're the most expensive, so we're beating out everybody, but those are the rest of the top 10, along with the Vikings and the Browns. The Lions sitting there, what does that say, $120 million?
And that's all in offensive lineman. Hey, do me a favor.
That's all in offensive lineman.
That's Jared Goff.
Do me an offensive lineman. Do me a favor. Put that on the backboard so I can kind of talk at the same time.
Yeah.
When
He's
you get a
getting
second.
up
No, my bad, Fletch. No. So, and you can take it. The reason why I bring this up, what do you notice about all these teams except
They suck.
They don't make the
except
playoffs.
the Detroit
They
Lions?
suck.
Well, the Niners.
The Commanders, they were in the playoffs 2 years ago. The Cardinals, they've been in the playoffs the last 3 years. The Titans were in the AFC Championship last year. Dallas, they're underachievers every year, but they're in the playoffs every year. The Patriots, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. So what this does, this puts unique pressure on the Detroit Lions offense this year. It puts a tremendous amount of pressure on their offense because if you're telling me, as a fan, that they've spent $120, I got to see it. I don't want to hear any excuse about Goff and what happened in the Rams or with the Rams and his confidence. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear about, we don't have the running back. Yes, we do. We have DeAndre Swift. I need him to stay healthy. I don't want to hear anything about him not having weapons anymore because he's got Hockenson. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has Chark now. He has Jameis Williams when he comes off of an injury. He also has Quintez Cephas. He also has Khalil Raymond. I don't want to hear any excuses from the Detroit Lions or for Lions sympathizers about the Detroit Lions after you read that.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm looking at this, and when you initially, I was like, man, yeah, because I'm looking at the top five, and I'm not scared of any of these top five's offenses, really.
Right.
Like, the Arizona Cardinals, the Cliff Kingsbury offense, a little bit scary the first year, but it's kind of gotten figured out in the NFL.
Your Lions didn't play against DeAndre Hopkins,
the Titans
though.
outside of King Henry, like, is that offensive really scary to you? Treylon Burks is going to add a little bit to them, but they lost A.J. Brown, so they're not as
They're
scary.
going to lose Julio.
The Cowboys, they lost a big wide receiver in Amari Cooper now with the Browns.
They lost two. They lost Wilson as well.
So I'm looking at this, and none of the top five really scare the hell out of even the Patriots. They got Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Imagine if they were actually paying a quarterback some money, where the hell the Patriots would be. So none of
They
these,
don't need
until
to.
you
They
get
have a
down to
good
San
quarterback.
Francisco, none of these offenses really
Yeah.
scare me. And that's kind of weird, don't you think? Like, they're just overpaying to overpay.
I don't know if they're necessarily overpaying. Now, the Commanders are overpaying. Because I can't tell you anybody outside Terry McLaurin and Gibson. And Gibson hasn't been paid yet.
Right.
And Gibson hasn't even been paid yet.
He's still on that
so
rookie
they're
deal.
going to go up. They're going to go up. But if you're looking at it, you're like, the Cardinals, all their money is spent on DeAndre Hopkins and the A.J. Green deal.
Ertz?
Yeah,
They got Ertz now?
The Titans, like you said, is Derrick Henry. It's no A.J. Brown anymore.
Right.
So where's their money tied? It's all offensive linemen. The Cowboys, offensive linemen, and Dak Prescott. The Patriots, offensive linemen. The Ravens' whole salary for offense is offensive linemen. The 49ers, offensive linemen, and Jimmy G. The Vikings, now their money is all, it's quarterbacks and special skills positions.
Right.
And then the Browns.
But yeah, like I
offensive
said,
lineman.
when I'm looking at this list, San Francisco is the only offense. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They're spending, you got your Debo, you got your George Kittle, you're paying
Well,
Jimmy
they haven't
Garoppolo.
paid Debo yet. Think about it.
They have
they're
an
fighting
unknown
with them now.
quarterback, though.
Yeah, they got to
Unknown.
pick a quarterback this year.
Well, they have Trey Lance, but
Let's focus
that's
on the
what they're
Lions.
Yeah,
I mean,
focus on the Lions,
obviously,
yeah.
a lot of this is built in with the line, but let's look at our skill positions as well. You talked about the running backs a little bit.
Yeah.
We know T.J. Hockenson he's at the end of his rookie deal.
So
Are we gonna cash him out like the people are talking
You
about?
got to have a tight end nowadays. You got to have one. You got to have one that fits the Travis Kelce mode, that fits the George Kittle mode, that fits the mode of these guys that you can kind of move anywhere and they create mismatches. I think that's why you got to keep Hockenson.
And then you got Goff, who's swallowing up $30 million of that. Like $30 million of that is Jared Goff. Without Jared Goff,
Right.
we're sitting at 90. That kind of scares me a little bit. But if you're surrounding Goff with the right pieces, and this was kind of the old Matthew Stafford argument too when he was here in Detroit. Like, hey, if he had a running back, if he had a line, if he had wide receivers, he'd be a good quarterback. We're hoping that happens this year with Jared Goff, right?
But you're actually happy at that. You and I talked about this before the show started. You're paying $30 million to a quarterback that you believe can be capable.
Right.
If you surround him with the right pieces, well, unless my eyes don't work anymore, it seems like they've surrounded him with the right pieces. So $30 million is much better than what Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are dealing with down there at $50 million.
So where do you think the Lions are going to rank offensively this year? We know where they're ranking money-wise,
Right.
but as far as points, yards from scrimmage, all that good stuff.
It's going to depend on the defense. It's going to depend on it's going to depend on field position.
Okay.
Where are we starting field position wise? What type of players are we starting in? Because that's what's going to determine how our offense is. If we can get decent starting position out of a kick return, and then what the defense is doing in terms of holding teams on first drives and things of that nature, the Lions could be pretty good. The Lions could be pretty good with that offense. I mean, I don't know ultimately where it can be, but I see them. They shouldn't be anywhere less than 14.
Do you like this strategy of us being all in on offense?
No.
Okay.
I don't, but at the end of the day, the easiest way to have success is to protect the quarterback. Have a quarterback you believe in, protect him with Taylor Decker, with Penei Sewell. He's another guy that's going to get paid. Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, and then Frank Ragnow, who will be back this year. You're protecting him. You need a running back. You got Swift, so.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Maz? Are you okay with this? I mean, I can't remember the last time the Lions came into the season with the highest payroll on either side of the ball. This year we got it.
Like Braylon said, it's all because of Goff. It's Goff's getting paid. He's getting his deal. That's why the Rams wanted to dump him. They didn't want to pay him. We are. But the offensive line's getting paid. You picked up Hawkinson's option. That's where all the money is.
But we would have had to pay Stafford the same too, right?
No, more. And it's the offensive line, because the way I look at it, man, is like the top tier quarterbacks. Like if you just look at the top tier guys in here, Kyler Murray is about to get upwards of $42 million. Ryan Tannehill's right now is making around what Goff is making.
Dak
is $50 million. You know,
Mac
Lamar
Jones
is about
max.
to get 48, 49. They still got Jimmy G, who's making 29 this year, so they're kind of the same boat as us. Freaking $47 million to Mr. Michigan State down there. And then the Browns, they got a couple quarterbacks that may tally up to the three of them, be around $40 million. So you're going to have to pay a guy, like if you want to win. And you're going to have to pay him $45 to $50 million.
Not a rookie.
Well, not a rookie, but I'm saying.
That's where the Patriots come in. They have Mac Jones. But they've got everything tied up in their defense. They got Matthew Judon, guys like that.
It was funny. Like I know they won that earlier. They won that 8-game winning streak, but something about the Patriots just still looked off. Like it just still looked off. I know they had the good game against Dallas, but they lost.
Well,
something about them looks off.
They got Matt Patricia running the offense now.
Oh yeah, they're good now. They got the offensive genius. But overall, this is interesting to me. I'm excited. This is what we go back to sometimes when we talk about now there's expectations, so now disappointment can come with that. When you're the number one spending on offense, there's expectations. And you're not going to put us behind. You're not going to lose games for us this year. So for the Lions, if I'm in that offensive room and this comes out and it's trending on Twitter, these guys, are they looking around at each other and being like, guys, we got to step our game up? Or do they not care what the outside public? Because you've sat in these offensive rooms, right? When these lists have come out,
you care. You try to act like they don't exist, but you care. You care what people are talking about. You care what you're saying. Now is the perfect time. You're gonna have to hold each other accountable, because last year they were the same team talking about. We hear people talking about. We're just a group of guys, and we don't have those guys, and we don't have weapons, and we feel differently. Well, you know what? Now you got to show improvement. Because last year that was the case, and that's why we gave you passes. That's why we gave you excuses. We say, y'all don't have anybody. It's okay. But now you do. Now you have $120 million in offensive expectation. You got to come with it, because I guarantee you, starting opening day, whenever that is, September, whatever, I'm coming with the heat. Like, I'm not letting off the gas. I'm letting them know, you guys got to show me $120 million worth of offense.
And what happens if they actually show up and are the number one offense in the league? That would be amazing. Why are you laughing, man? They're paying for it.
They're paying for it. Don't mean that they're going to make it.
Number one offense in the league has to balance out the number 32 defense in the league.
I'd rather the inverse. I'd rather be the number one defense.
I'd rather be middle right now for this year.
Because you got to score some points.
I'll take
you got to
middle.
defend as well.